Welcome to the Mokan Nokan show. I am Nokan. And I am Mokan. Now, our regular viewers may be a bit alarmed and concerned because we are here on our spaceship. Yes, we are, Mokan. Now we can go anywhere and everywhere seeking out inspiration wherever it may take us. That's right, Nokan. But we are always in constant contact with our mentor and friend, Mr. Mel, who saved us when we crash landed on the island of Kauai. Yes, Hawaii will always be our earthly home, wherever we may roam. Yes, it will, Nokan. There's nowhere like Hawaii. Now, let's get this show on, Mokan. Yeah, let's do that, Nokan. Here we go.
All aboard the Dream Machine.
Close your eyes, yeah, and catch your eye on the dream machine. Sing it, I will fly. Ooh, yeah, say I will fly. You gotta close your eyes, yeah, and catch your eye on the dream machine. Sing it, I will fly. Don't you know it now? I will fly. Right on! Close your eyes, yeah, and catch your eye on the dream machine. Sing it, I will find. Oh yeah, say I will find. You gotta close your eyes, yeah, and catch your eye on the dream machine. Sing it, I will find. Don't you know it now? I will find, 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 find.
And now, the news.
Aloha and welcome to the news desk. I'm Taylor Melkisuizu.
And I'm Annabelle Fields, and boy do we have a great show for you today.
Yes, we do, Annabelle, so let's get right to it.
Yes, let's do that. Well, Taylor, following up last week's episode of the dangers of walking while texting, Honolulu has created a state law that bans people from looking at their phones while crossing roads.
I know, Annabelle, isn't that fantastic that our show has actually contributed to a new state law?
Yes, I knew that when I came up with the idea that it would change the world.
You came up with the idea? No, you didn't. It was a joint decision, Annabelle, between me, you, and the director of the show.
Well, anyway, according to this report, Honolulu's smartphone zombie law.
Don't you just love it? Smartphone zombie law? I'm a smartphone zombie.
Are you finished? This is a serious issue, you know. Honolulu's smartphone zombie law authorizes police to stop and fine pedestrians up to $35 for walking with their eyes glued to their phone screen. The ban makes Honolulu the first major American city to pass legislation targeting distracted walking in a bid to increase road safety. This is really a milestone legislation that sets the bar high for safety, says Brandon Elfont, the city council member behind the bill.
That's so amazing, Annabelle, that our show has changed the course of history. Wow.
Yes, I think congratulations are in order, Taylor. Now they need to create a law that bans lame duck sidekick news anchors.
That's a great idea, Annabelle. But I would never support such a law, so you don't have to worry about a thing. Your job here is quite safe.
Oh, really?
I'm learning about myself, discovering who I am, the things that make me happy, like painted butterflies in my mind's eyes. I can play make-believe and use my imagination, and suddenly the world appears in colorful animation. Are you inspired?
Let go rocks! Yeah!
Aloha, my name is Patrick Ching. I was fortunate enough to be born in the beautiful state of Hawaii on the island of Oahu, and I remember growing up, I was very amazed and impressed by things that move. Insects, birds, butterflies, frogs. Every time I found a new animal, and I'd run to the encyclopedia and look it up and see what it was about. And for those of you that don't know what an encyclopedia is, it's like a computer in a book form, you know? It had everything in it. I especially like the pages with the birds and the frogs, where you turn over the page and you can remove the frog's skin and see its muscles. You can remove the muscles and see its organs. You can remove the organs and see its bones. When I'm looking at nature with the idea to paint it, I'm actually dissecting the layers of nature in my mind and figuring out how to rebuild them with paint. My love of art came from my love of animals. I wanted to figure out how to draw and paint the animals that I liked, and that helped me to teach myself how to draw. I remember going out into the woods with my pencil and sketch pad and sketching down something. Even if I didn't really know how to draw, I just made it up, moved my hand until the picture formed on the page. I attended Moanalua High School, and my art teacher, Mrs. Kanagawa, taught me so much about the basic principles of art. I didn't even know how important the things I was learning at the time were. But as I grew up to be an artist and an art teacher myself, I realized how valuable the information that she was trying to tell me was. A turning point in my life was during high school. I was about 16 years old, and I was sent to the Outward Bound program. Now, this is 1 month in the wilderness where you're supposed to be working on your communication skills. And for me, it was an opportunity to be around the plants and animals that I love to draw. So I remember I saw a pair of Hawaiian hawks flying in the sky, and they were screaming and tangled together. And I asked my instructor, "What is that?" And he said, "Those are Hawaiian hawks. They only exist in Hawaii." And I thought, man, I started drawing the hawk, you know. And he said, "Boy, you're a good artist. You ever thought of being an artist for a living?" And I said, "No, only like 5 crazy French guys can do that." But that very day, it took me about an hour to realize that I could actually draw better than all of my friends, better than anybody I knew. And during that trip right there, I decided that I was going to make it as a wildlife artist. I was going to teach people about nature through my art, and I was going to make it or die trying. So to make my dreams come true, I started attending art schools. I went to the Otis Parsons Art Institute in Los Angeles. I went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa and the Leeward Community College. I went through a few different colleges. I just wanted to learn. And my biggest school of learning was being an apprentice to really good artists. Mr. Jim Raker, Mr. John Petrie. These were my favorite artists. And just by volunteering to help them out, I learned more than I did in any school. Later in life, I became a wildlife ranger so that I could be closer to the things I love to paint. They would put me in the forest to paint rare birds, out on remote atolls to paint monk seals and sea turtles. I really like being around the rare and endangered animals and taking those pieces of art to people so that they could have images of those animals in their house. Being inspired and being inspiring is very important to me. I get my inspiration from nature. I like things that move. I like animals. I like plants. A little grasshopper, an insect, butterfly, bird, a frog. These are the things that excite me and make me want to learn and make me want to paint. I love getting people to see the greatness inside them, especially if they thought they didn't have any talent or skill. It doesn't take very long to learn how to use a pencil, a paintbrush, how to get to know your paints. And people can create really beautiful art in a short amount of time. To them, it's like magic. To art teachers, well, we know it's coming and we know how the process works. So I love to see people make things that they never thought they could do on canvas. I really encourage young people to follow their passion. Think of something you love. Think of something you love to do. What is it that you stay up late? What is it that excites you to wake up early and get right to it? If you can make a living out of doing your passion, you're going to have a fun and beautiful life. Early on in my career, I was known as the bird painter because I would love to paint rare Hawaiian forest birds. Later on, I began to paint everything from insects to horses and monk seals. I find beauty in all different kinds of animals. All different animals excite me for different reasons, and I encourage you to paint the things that excite you too. My name is Patrick Ching, staying inspired. Are you inspired?
You're my inspiration, my inspiration. You keep me inspired in every way. You're my inspiration, my inspiration. Never take your inspiration away. Are you inspired?
100 years of preservation by George, Etta, Elsie, and Mabel Wilcox, and more recently Waiole Corporation, has provided the Kauai community with hundreds of acres of open land, spectacular view plains, historic house museums, and preserved cultural and community activities. Etta, Elsie, and Mabel Wilcox began their preservation efforts by restoring their grandparents' Waiole Mission House in Hanalei in 1919, launching their protection of historic buildings and sites. The last surviving sister, Miss Mabel, secured the future of these historic properties by establishing a nonprofit organization in 1975, which she called Waiole Corporation. Today, Waiole Corporation stewards nearly 800 acres of open land, 3 historic house museums, and collections spanning Hawaiian, missionary, and sugar plantation histories, including the world's largest collection of operating sugar plantation steam locomotives. The Waiole Mission House property includes taro parcels in the Waiole Valley that have been carbon dated to 800 AD and continue to be actively farmed by 3rd and 4th generations of Hanalei taro farmer families. Also included in the Mission House property is the land in front, which is leased to the county for $1 a year for community recreational use. Lepiuli is a 635-acre ahupua'a, which is a Hawaiian land division, which was purchased from Kamehameha III by Abner Wilcox in 1852 to use as a farm. Sisters Elsie and Mabel Wilcox preserved this ancient land division, and it continues to be used as a cattle pasture, as well as provide nesting areas for seabirds such as shearwaters and albatross, sustaining an actual museum of life. The half-mile Lepiuli Beach provides nesting areas for Hawaiian monk seals and green sea turtles. It harbors the most pristine reef in the state, protecting a source for limu and reef fish for the Anahola community. In Lihui, Mabel Wilcox acquired the 75-acre Grove Farm property in the early 1970s in order to preserve it for the island community. Grove Farm represents a 19th century developing sugar plantation homestead and safeguards the original buildings, furnishings, family correspondence, and early plantation records. The household operations continue today as they were when the two generations of Wilcox family members lived here. The site includes the 1850 Grove Farm main house, which her Uncle George Wilcox acquired in 1864 and preserved by incorporating it into the two-story addition in 1915. This main house was a thatched grass roof house when he moved in, and he added other buildings as his plantation succeeded and grew. Another of the authentic historic experiences is a ride on the Grove Farm plantation steam locomotives that were gifted to Mabel Wilcox in 1975 when she announced her plans to preserve Grove Farm as a museum of plantation history. Waioli Corporation continues to steward the Wilcox sisters' legacy to the community and shares these Kauai treasures through tours and school visits. Come visit Waioli Mission House, Grove Farm, and the Locomotive Learning Park and learn more about the island's history.
That was great! Inspiration! Inspiration! High five!
mai kako o au no o Puali'i, he kumu au ma ke kula nui kaia ulu ma Kauai. A o au I nā papa o lalo Hawaii, a me nā papa haawina Hawaii. Aloha mai kako, my name is Puali'i, and I am a kumu or an instructor at Kauai Community College, and I teach classes in Hawaiian language and in Hawaiian studies. Aloha. Many of us know aloha as hello or goodbye, but it also means love. So anything that you greatly cherish or anything that you feel a lot of love for, you can use that word, aloha. Our word is mahalo. So mahalo means thank you, but it also means gratitude or anything that you appreciate. So anything that you have any appreciation for, you can use that word, mahalo.
And now the news.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome. According to Hawaii's State Department of Health, 1 in 4 adults living in Hawaii are overweight.
Yes, and the percentage of children overweight is 28%.
Obesity is linked to coronary heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and some cancers.
Yes, Taylor, this is not good news. So, we have decided to do something good about it.
Yes, we have, Annabelle. We've searched all over the world to find someone with the skills and passion to get Hawaii healthy and fit.
All over the world? Taylor, why do you need to be so dramatic? Actually, the young man you are referring to was recommended by Mr. Melk.
Okay, Annabelle, I'll keep it simple for you. Here is our health guru, Bryce Bertoli.
Aloha, and welcome to this segment of the show we call Get Fit, Live Rich. I'm Bryce Bertoli, your host, and each week I'll be delving into all the different topics involving health, diet, and exercise. We'll be exploring all the different ways you can improve your well-being, including meditation and breathing. Yes, breathing. Maintaining proper breathing increases your oxygen carrying capacity and blood flow, which keeps your muscles working properly and your concentration at its peak. So let's take a minute now to work on our breathing together. Begin by slowly breathing into your nose. Keep the shoulders relaxed and let the belly gently rise. And then exhale slowly out of the nose and let the belly gently come back in. Let's practice one together, starting with the inhale. Don't forget to stay relaxed. As you inhale, feel the body expand and energize. And as you exhale, feel the body release and relax. Awesome job. Now, don't you feel better? It's simple things like breathing properly that can transform your health and improve your life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next time on Get Fit, Live Rich with me, Bryce Bertoli.
What are you doing?
I'm exercising my mouth so my mouth stays fit and in good health.
I can't believe you, Taylor. You seriously have some serious problems. Why don't you just do what I do to exercise my mouth? Talk all the time.
I never thought of that.
I guess you wouldn't have.
Aloha, I'm Lee Hicks. I'm originally from Massachusetts, but I live here on the island of Kauai. I'm a special education teacher. I have two children, Ella, who is 6, and Miles, who is 4. Our daughter, Ella, has Down syndrome. We found out about her diagnosis at birth. Ella surprised us by coming early. She was born at 36 weeks. When she was born, I suspected that something might be different about her, but no one was telling us anything, so I wasn't certain. But when the doctor came to visit, he told us that they suspected she might have Down syndrome, which was initially very shocking to us and surprising. And hard news to hear because we didn't know what to expect for her future. When Ella was born, we had a lot of questions and there weren't a lot of answers. We were definitely pretty isolated, not only where we were living, but we really didn't know other parents who had kids with Down syndrome. So we didn't know how our family was going to respond to her, how the world would respond to her. There's a lot of stigma attached to being different in any way. So we didn't know if we should tell people up front she has Down syndrome or just let people get to know her on their own. We didn't know if she'd be included in team sports or be allowed to come take ballet classes. So there was some isolation in the way we were feeling about her diagnosis at first. From a medical standpoint, children who are born with Down syndrome can have any range of health concerns. Thankfully, Ella was born with a small hole in her heart that healed on its own and some other minor conditions that didn't warrant her staying in the NICU more than 3 days. When we found out Ella had Down syndrome, we were very worried, and so we did a lot of research. looking for any kind of information we could, how to support her. We found that Easter Seals provides early intervention with speech therapy and occupational and physical therapy. So they came into our home when she was about 8 weeks old and started providing services when she was about 2 months old, which I thought was very early, but for children with Down syndrome, it's critical to their development. Ella is a very warm and vibrant, energetic child. She loves to communicate, she loves to hug, and she loves to be really close in proximity to the people that she cares about. She adores her friends. She loves to dance, sing. She enjoys gymnastics, loves to run. So she's very much like a typically developing child. She really enjoys her first grade classroom. She's fully included there. They call it an inclusion setting. We love that she's with her peers all day long. When Ella was born, we really didn't know any children with Down syndrome, but I remembered an old coworker of mine and hearing that she had had a son, so I reached out, found her phone number, and started making some connections for support. And since then have met many families on the island. We formed a Down syndrome ohana so that we can get together and help each other out, talk about our experiences, learn from each other's experiences, and it's been a really supportive way to connect. It's also been really nice for our children to get to know each other. And we would love to connect with any parents or future parents of children with Down syndrome here on Kauai or anywhere in Hawaii.
If you would like to get in touch with Lily, drop us a line at www.mokannokan.com and we will be happy to pass your information on to her. That was a great show, Mokan. So much inspiring stories. Yes, it was, Mokan. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you next time right here on the Mokan Nokan Show. Yeah!